Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sandeep Walia, Head of the Department, University Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Chandigarh University. We will be discussing the module Airline Operations, Scheduled, Non-Scheduled, Domestic, International, Low-Cost Carriers under the paper Aviation Industry, Ticketing and Frontier Formalities. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand about the meaning of scheduled and non-scheduled airlines and difference between them, about the concept of air taxis, about long-haul and short-haul air services, to understand the meaning and concept of low-cost or no-frill airlines. Students, civil aviation grew rapidly post the Second World War, making commercial aviation one of the indispensable prerequisites for economic development in any country. Various factors contributed to the growth, such as prevailing peace in most parts of the world, enabling passengers to try to any country, lifting of travel ban and restrictions imposed during unrest, general economic development and prosperity in many developed and developing countries, progressing and proactive economic policies adopted by countries that gave a thrust to growth in aviation, and globalization and liberalization of international markets, enabling foreign investments in many countries in aviation. With the proliferation of air services worldwide, demand for various types of services has also emerged. Passengers now have a wide array of options when it comes to flying, including hiring their own aircraft custom made to match their needs. This module shall focus on the variety of air services available today, making aviation industry even more robust in terms of catering to passenger demands. Let us now discuss scheduled and non-scheduled air services. Scheduled and non-scheduled air services are two different categories of air services offered by airlines. As the terms suggest, these air services are differentiated by the regularity of their schedule of operation. Let us take scheduled air services first. Scheduled airlines are those air service providers who operate flights as per the schedules drawn up well in advance that cover several months or even years at a time. They have a fixed timing and a fixed flight number and operate between fixed routes. These airlines are thus committed to operating flights for the said periods on the said routes, whether they have full occupancy or not. In so doing, they offer a fixed or predetermined range of services and can thus be booked up to 1 year in advance in some of the cases. Below listed are some of the prominent features of scheduled air services. Scheduled airlines operate as per a fixed schedule predetermined by the airline. Scheduled airlines have a fixed predetermined flight number which indicates or represents its time and route. For example, Air India flight operating between Delhi and Mumbai at 700 hours is assigned a flight number AI0887. Scheduled airlines schedule is drawn up very well in advance and the passengers have the convenience of booking their flights at least a year in advance. Scheduled airlines offer a range of services on board which are fixed, and also some of these services can be booked in advance. These air services will continue to operate even when there is no full occupancy in the flight. Point-to-point air service. Dear students, point-to-point air service is a type of flight operation model in scheduled airlines where a plane travels directly to a predetermined destination as per the schedule, rather than going through a central hub. Advantages of this operation model are: this model minimizes connections and the travel time. There are less baggage transfers. There will be less incidences of missing luggage. As there is no interdependency of flights and hubs, a delayed flight or a closed airport will not significantly affect other flight schedules. Dear students, let us now discuss hub and spoke model service. In this model, airlines have a single airport as their central location from where all their other flights originate. A hub for an airline is a central airport that flights are routed through, and spokes are the routes that planes to make out the hub airport. Most major airlines of the world have multiple hubs. This system enables the airlines to offer more flights for passengers. This system was developed in order to overcome the disadvantages presented by point-to-point model. Under the direct route or point-to-point, airlines are forced to fly directly between two locations. This model results in many flights routinely flying under capacity, and as a consequence, the airlines lose money. Today, most of the airlines have at least one central airport as hub that their flights have to go through. From such a hub, the spoke flights take passenger to the selected destinations. Some of the advantages of this model are as follows. Lesser routes are needed to serve the network as all flights originate from a single or a set of fixed hubs. As there are less routes, assuming the number of planes are the same, airlines can schedule more frequent flights along each route and make full use of the capacity of each plane. Operations at these hubs airports tend to be centralizing, leading to economies of scale and greater profits. Let us discuss Codeshare Air Services. Students, a codeshare is a common type of agreement in aviation business. It is an arrangement where two or more airlines share the same flight, where each airline publishes and markets the flight under its own airline designator and flight number as a part of its published timetable or schedule. Passengers can purchase seats any of the airline's designator and flight number. However, it is operated by only one of the cooperating airlines, commonly called as operating carrier. Some of the advantages of codeshare agreement for passengers include clearing routing for the customer, allowing a customer to book travel from point A to C through point B under one carrier's code, instead of a customer booking from point A to B under one code and from point B to C under another code. Under this arrangement, cooperating airlines strive to synchronize and match their schedules in order to suit another's timings. For airlines, codeshare is an advantageous as flights from both airlines that fly the same route, as this provides an apparent increase in the frequency of service on the route by one airline. Also, this arrangement enables airlines to provide a method for carriers who do not operate their own aircraft on a given route to gain exposure in the market through display of their flight numbers. Further, when an airline sacrifices its capacity to other airlines as a codeshare partner, its operational cost will generally be reduced to zero. Dear students, let us now discuss non-scheduled air services. Non-scheduled air services are also commonly referred to as air charter services. These are the air services that operate in certain seasons or times, mostly during peak seasons. While the scheduled airlines specialize in selling transportation by the seat, air charter companies focus on individual private aircraft and itineraries, urgent or time-sensitive cargo air ambulance services, and other forms of ad hoc air transportation. It is estimated that there are close to 15,000 business jets available for charter in the worldwide fleet. US and Europe are the largest markets for charter services, with growing activity in the Middle East, Asia, and Central America. Charter airlines fares are comparatively lower as compared to that of scheduled airlines. This is because charter airlines charge lower fares by anticipating a full load or else pre-selling the plane's capacity to an agent, who then sells off the seats to passengers. In order to do so, however, charter airlines must be assured of a full load, and so they generally operate only at peak periods on specific routes. For example, the Caribbean is served by a number of European charter airlines during the peak tourist season of November to April. Non-scheduled air services also include business jets or private jets. It is a jet aircraft designed for transporting small groups of people. These may be adapted for other uses such as the evacuation of casualties or express parcel deliveries, and some are used by public bodies, government officials, or the armed forces. Dear students, let us now discuss about air taxi services, domestic and international. An air taxi is a commercial aircraft which makes short flights on demand, much like the car rental services. These are small aircrafts and normally used for short travels. This service used worldwide by business executives, celebrities, political personalities, and others who are pressed for time. This air service is an efficient way to save time, as they are not compelled to fly as per the schedule of regular airlines. These days, many are using private air taxis for luxury travel to add to their comfort and to enhance their experience. Air taxi services tend to be more expensive as compared to the scheduled airlines, as the entire aircraft is at the disposal of a person who hires these services. Air taxi services tend to be more expensive as compared to the scheduled airlines, as the entire aircraft is at the disposal of a person who hires these services. Along with the air taxi, services of the pilot and crew are also provided on request. These air taxis may either operate from regular airports or private air terminals. When operating from private air terminals, passengers can avoid the hustle and bustle of busy airports and the queues through security. The advantages of using air taxi are discussed as: air taxis are much more luxurious and comfortable as compared to the regular airlines. Air taxis offer privacy, security, and discretion for passengers such as celebrities and passengers seeking to avoid the usual hustle and bustle of airports. Air taxi enables passengers to fly at their own chosen time, giving them greater flexibility in terms of schedule. Air taxis give access to private air terminals. Air taxis can be used to travel to any place in the world, even these places which catered by scheduled air services. The passengers have a choice to select any aircraft of their preference. Dear students, let us now discuss short-haul and long-haul air services. In the aviation terms, commonly the flight length is defined as the distance of a flight. Short-haul and the long-haul air services are categorized based on their flight time. Short-haul refers to shorter routes and long-haul refers to longer non-stop routes. Flight time naturally depends on the distance between point of origin and destination that flight is bound towards. For aircrafts to fly long distances non-stop, they must be wide-body aircrafts which have larger engines and more fuel storage capacity. Therefore, wide-bodied aircrafts are preferred and used for long-haul flights and smaller narrow-bodied aircrafts for shorter routes. The definition of shorter and long-haul service varied from airline to airline and country to country. However, there is some concurrence or agreement that a long-haul flights last from 6 to 12 hours and is typically made by a wide-body aircraft such as a Boeing 767, Boeing 777, Airbus A330, Airbus A380. These flights are typically non-stop. Long-haul flights are used for transcontinental flights, for example, flights from Delhi to London. Whereas short-haul flights are the flights taking less than 3 hours to complete their journey. Most domestic flights in India are short-haul as the journey time is rarely more than 3 hours and the distance travelled is under 3,200 kilometers. For examples, flights between Mumbai to Kolkata or a flight from Delhi to Kolkata. There is another category called the medium-haul flights, which last from 3 to 6 hours. These are typically made by aircrafts such as Airbus A320, A321, 319, 318 or Boeing 737-700 or Boeing 737-800. Larger airlines normally have a combination of all three categories as they service a wide range of destinations. Smaller and newer airlines usually begin operations with short and medium hauls where they service close by destinations. Dear students, let us now discuss about low-cost carriers. Low-cost carriers or LCC are known by many other names such as no-frill airlines, budget airlines or discount airlines. Low-cost airlines are those which generally have lower fares and fewer comforts as compared to full-service or regular airlines. LCCs offer inexpensive airfares and they achieve by cutting down on operational expenses and charging an additional amount of extra services. LCCs have become popular and widely used in many countries since their inception in early 1980s. World's first low-cost carrier was Pacific Southwest Airlines in the United States. In India, Air Deccan was the pioneer in low-cost air services which started its operation in the year 2003. Some of the other LCCs in India are Go Air, Indigo Airlines, SpiceJet, Air India Express, etc. Now, how do these airlines offer low fares? Following paragraphs shall discuss the business model of low-cost airlines. Aircrafts. Most of the LCCs do not buy new aircrafts as this would add to their investment and expenses. They are either purchased second-hand or sometimes even hired. In cases when new aircrafts are purchased, low-cost carriers prefer placing bulk orders in order to get a price advantage through discounts. In many cases, the aircrafts used by LCCs are of a single configuration which makes it easier and less expensive for the airline to maintain the aircrafts. Aircrafts used by low-cost carriers often operate with a minimum set of operational equipments on board which further reducing cost of acquisition and maintenance, as well as keeping the weight of the aircraft lower and thus saving fuel too. Some of the airlines also do away with no-flight entertainment systems and rear pockets attached at the back of the seat. This reduces cleaning expenses and additional maintenance expenses. Point-to-point services. Low-cost carriers normally offer point-to-point air services and offer services to smaller airports and cities. This saves them paying of higher airport charges which further would add to airfare. Many LCCs develop one or more bases to maximize destination coverage and defend the market that they serve. Most of the LCCs do not operate on the traditional hub and spoke model but rather focuses on more cities. Additional revenue through sale on board. Most often, food sold on board is for an additional amount charged as per consumption. Many airlines in India offer seats with better legroom and offered at an additional price. Some airlines even offer pillows and blankets for sale on board. There is also a small section of merchandise that is sold on board. In terms of minimum and simple comforts, the aircrafts used by low-cost carriers offer simple and minimum comforts. Seats are very basic and food offered on board is simple and basic too. The number of airline crew is also kept minimum in order to save further operational expenses. As low-cost carriers offer very limited food on board, the turnaround time, which includes cleaning of aircrafts, is also limited. This enables the LCCs to offer faster and quicker services, and they can offer many routes per aircraft. In addition to this, they work on minimum personal cost. Low-cost carrier employees in many cases work multiple roles. At some airlines, check-in staffs also act as gate agents or assume other roles, which to some extent limited personal costs. The next one is single class seating. Low-cost carriers do not offer multiple class seatings such as premium or business class. The simple seat configuration avoids use of large many on board crew. To sum the important features of low-cost carriers, below listed are some of them that are point-to-point operations, short-haul routes most often between regional or secondary airports, focus on price-sensitive market segment, mostly leisure passengers, simple and minimum services with limited or no customer loyalty programs. Additional revenue through sale of other passenger services such as on-board catering, pre-selecting seats and extra baggage services. Many low-cost carriers do not offer alcoholic beverages as part of in-flight offering. Low to average fares with a strong focus on price competition. Different fares offered depending on the time of booking and number of seats available on the flight. No commission to travel agents and dependency on bookings made through the internet. High aircraft utilization rates as a result of short turnaround between operations. Fleet comprises of just one or two aircraft types. Aircrafts carry limited extra fuel. Low-cost carriers avoid airports with high airport charges when operating in cities with multiple airports. During the initial years of the low-cost carrier operations globally, there was a perception that low-cost carriers were not as safe as the full-service airlines. It was also assumed that cutting costs in many aspects would mean spending less on passenger and cargo safety. However, over the years, these airlines have performed on par with the full-service airlines, offering simple yet efficient services to its passengers. Further, flying was considered as a luxurious and glamorous in the initial years when low-cost carriers made their debut. Low-cost carriers with the minimum list offering were not seen as preferred airlines by the affluent class. Eventually, this perception underwent a change with low-cost carrier offering efficient and competitive rates to destinations that were not serviced by full-service airline earlier. Dear students, let us summarize what we have discussed in this module. Global civil aviation is growing leaps and bounds with many airlines entering the business offering a wide array of services to match the need of passengers. The market segments are becoming widely different from one another with their unique needs and preferences. Airlines today are trying to cater as many market segments as possible to remain relevant in the businesses. Whether scheduled or non-scheduled airlines, the focus firmly remains on providing efficient service with utmost comfort to the passengers. Punctual service with focus on on-time performance is considered as a key to success by many airlines today. On the other hand, there are many air service providers that cater to the uber luxurious and affluent market are adding many comforts such as customized meals, onboard private cabins, and customized entertainment systems. This has added certain vibrancy to the flying experience to luxury travelers. Innovation in aircraft design and structure is also key to the future of aviation industry. Many aircrafts are being designed to offer more safety and efficiency are being introduced by many airlines. Jumbo jets such as Boeing Dreamliner and Airbus 380 with large carrying capacity are being inducted by many airlines around the world to increase the number of seats and offer more comfort on board. With these words, I sum up. Thank you.